Should I say what kind of gear we put in, or should we leave that a secret?
It's up to you how much information you want to get out about it.
We're going to leave that a secret. we'll tell you later.
This is not a test. This is your emergency broadcast system.
Alright guys, so I know in my last video I had this car here in the background, and there might be some questions as to what the heck I'm doing with one of these in my shop. And so we're going to clear that up a little bit. For those of you that don't know, this is my buddy, he's Calvin. He owns CB Auto Tire here in town. We've been buddies for a few years now. And he's the, I guess you'd say, like the bug in my ear that's always got me wanting to do something LS. And so whenever I have opportunity to do something a little different, this kind of gets it out of my system. So anyways, we had an event coming up, and I guess, you know, a couple years ago, I raced the event. I ended up winning in my old truck. And since then, there's been some rule changes and things that went on. I'm not allowed to race anymore because of the four-wheel drive and the diesel trucks. So the rules in this race really is that 22-inch rim and bigger. That's all there is to it. That's all the stipulation there is. So my idea was, if I can't race, then Calvin needs to build something that he can race. So we've been kind of, you know, talking back and forth on different projects, things we could do. And then Calvin gave me a call, and this is what we came up with. So anyways, I guess if you want to explain to the guys, you know, what kind of car is this exactly? Why do you have it? And what were you going to do with it before this?
Yeah, it's a funny story. First of all, it's a 79 Chevy Caprice Aero Coupe, hence the long back glass. They only made them for 3 years, 77 through 79. Practically, I bought the car for parts. I have another one that I'm building for show. It's supposed to be fast and flashy. However, a few parts that I needed that was missing, and so that's why I ended up with this car. Purchased this car cheap, just for parts. It really wasn't. I mean, the car was a little kind of rough, so pretty much I was just going to take whatever I needed off, and it was going to be on its way to the junkyard. Well, coming up to the race, we was like about a week out, about a week and a half out, and it just so happened I was home for a week sick with the flu, and you know, kind of went out in my garage one day, and I'm sitting around. I'm like, man, you know, I got a couple projects I'm building. They're not ready. The King of the Streets was coming up. You know, I didn't have anything to race. Me and Trent, we've been talking about the whole event, and like I said, it was nothing to race. And I'm looking around the garage, and I'm like, man, I got car parts for days around here. And I'm like, man, what if I just throw something together, throw a motor together real quick, and call Trent up. You know, we put our heads together and put something together to race. Of course, I sell wheels, so I got brand new wheels in my shop that go on the car. And so yeah, I called you up, and we started putting our heads together, and here we go. We practically, I want to say a week prior to King of the Streets, you know, I kind of pulled the car out. The car was trashed, really interior wise, because it was missing a window. So it had been raining in it for probably some years. Interior was trash. So first couple of days, a few days, I spent stripping the seats out, carpet, the stuff, the headliner, the stuff that really wasn't any good, just kind of stripping inside the car out. Which kind of a 1 week project kind of left us 3 days to build a race car. Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, leading up to the King of the Streets race. On Sunday, we practically threw this race car together.
So like you said, you called me, it was a Thursday. It was about a week and a half before the race. and we talked about it, and I was getting ready to go back. I work shift work, so I was getting ready to go back to work for the next, handful of days. And the way that it fell, it just so happened that the following Thursday was going to be the first day I had off where I could pitch in to help with the car.
Right.
So that's why you took that week, went ahead, stripped everything, started collecting all your parts, finding what all you had and the few things you needed to order to just be able to button everything up. Right. So Thursday, my first day off, we went into it. During the day, you finished up stripping out the interior, finished cleaning things up on the inside. And the first thing, this had a really, would be a tall or a low rear
like
end.
a 241 gear.
Yeah.
So I ordered the ring and pinion set and a mini spool, and by surprise, it had an 8.5 rear.
Yep.
Compared to some of these cars come to 7.5 rear, so which was good.
Yep.
Once I started opening up the rear, I realized there's a deposit unit already in, and it's crazy because I want to say it was probably the ring end was practically fresh. Evidently, the car like it's been sitting since like 2001.
Right.
But it's like the ring end was probably just done shortly before it set.
That's right.
So it had a positive unit in it, but of course that ain't enough for what we're trying to do. Right. So it ended up being like a 241 gear, like a little small gear or something. So we took that out. And should I say what kind of gear we put in, or should we leave that a secret?
It's up to you how much information you want to get out about it.
We're going to leave that a secret. we'll tell you later. We put a ring and pinion in. Actually, we did it at my shop late Thursday night. Me, Valentine, one of my employees, Valentine, my lead tech, me and him, we partnered up, knocked it out real quick. And actually, he made the brake lines. We went ahead and redone the brake line. Car been sitting for years, so we didn't know how good the brake lines were. So he told us stripped all the brake line out, redone the brake line while I was doing the ring and pinion, and then then he helped me up finish it up. I did put in a spool in the rear because I want to make sure we got that positive traction all the time. Positive unit just wasn't going to cut it for me on the track. From there, we got the ring end button up, and pretty much that's when you came and picked it up on the trailer and brought it here to where we're at now. And I think from there, was it Friday?
Thursday night, Nathan and Trevor met me here at the house to help me get it unloaded and go and get it in the shop. We brought it in, we went ahead and stripped, basically anything that wasn't needed in the car that was still there. We went ahead and got rid of because most likely half of it didn't work anyways. Right. So, no need to have it. Right. So we got rid of those. What else do? We mounted the fuel cell. We didn't want to take a chance of running the factory fuel tank, not knowing the condition of it, if there was rust in it, water, any of that. We were going to have to put a new fuel pump in the car anyways. So we figured we'd go ahead, ditch that, get something to be easier to access, easier to work on. So we went ahead and got that mounted, and we started looking at some things on the interior as far as how we were going to mount a seat and stuff like that. Right. That pretty much wrapped up Thursday night.
Gotcha.
So Friday, we had the car here at the shop. Trevor came over. I had my buddy Austin help me make up some seat brackets, and when I brought those back, Trevor worked on welding the brackets in, and we've got them made to where the brackets are welded to the floor, but the seat bolts to the bracket instead of normally, your seat would be mounted to the bracket, and you are, securely mounted to your bracket and then bolted to the floor. But we didn't like the way that was going to turn out, so we did it opposite. Under the hood of this car, when you pulled out all of your, I guess it's all your HVAC stuff, was on the passenger side of the engine bay. It left a big open hole.
Yeah, right there at the firewall.
Yep.
Where the heater box and AC box, all that come out.
That's right.
Yeah.
So we had a hole that was about 2 foot wide, about a foot tall, that was just accessed straight into the car, so we couldn't have that. So we went ahead and made up a stainless plate that we had bolted in there. We got the battery mounted, ran new battery wires, and also the roof. I don't know anything about this type of car, old school stuff. Like, I've never messed with them, but this vinyl top, I never realized. I thought that it was similar to like a convertible almost, where it had like supports and the vinyl top just kind of was there. I didn't realize it was literally wrapping steel, which This one doesn't. This one's more like a convertible now.
So, about that. Remember I told you this car been sitting since like 2001 apparently. So evidently, I want to say, I mean, the car really actually is pretty solid. You know, as far as the bottom of the car, as far as the frame of the car, is pretty solid. However, the weak point of the car is and why it became junk pretty much is because at some point, I really believe somebody had it sitting under a tree and rain or whatever, or I guess a lot of moisture set in the top under the vinyl, and literally it rusted away all this metal under the vinyl, and the only thing that's really there is just the support, I guess the 3 ribs supported in the ceiling. You can literally take your finger and poke into the vinyl top, and like that's all that's there, just vinyl, and a little piece of rust is just falling down like rain on you.
Trevor was sitting in the seat when we mounted it, and he was looking up, and he said, "I see where they get that. You seen the Starlight headlines people are putting?" He said, "I see where they get it from because you can see
the perforation through the vinyl.
There's
a little sunlight coming through."
That's right.
But and that explained why the interior was so trash. I have pictures too. We're gonna share those pictures. Like that's why it took me literally 2 days to get the interior out because there was so much moisture, man, inside the car that the seat bolts was rusted. When you put a socket on, they round it right off. They wouldn't turn. So I had to pretty much, and then the seats was electric seats, man. So I had to get in there, man, with Sawzall. I'm cutting the seats just to get the bolts. Man, I'm taking grinders. I'm cutting stuff. I'm pulling stuff. I'm banging with chisels, and man, it was crazy. It took me 2 days, and then it was grass growing in the carpet. It was grass growing in the carpet, man. It was bad. It was bad.
That's awesome.
Keep in mind, we're still working regular work shifts.
That's right.
While we're doing this.
Yep.
So Friday I wasn't able to come and help you.
That's right.
Because I had a stupid day where man, with this what we're going with the pandemic, man. I didn't have tires shipped in on time for some customers, so I ended up running from pretty much cross state line, state to state, trying to pick up tires to complete some of these jobs.
That's right. And
so I didn't even get a chance to work on it with you on Friday. But in the meantime, I had to build a motor for this thing.
Right.
Right.
That's right.
So that led to the good thing is, like I said, I had about 3 days. I ordered the parts I needed, kind of expedited some stuff in. Pretty much got all my parts in my hand at least by, I think it was like by Wednesday. I think I had everything. Right.
Now on the back side of that, or the backstory to that though, is you had a motor originally, but there was issues with the motor. There was some issues with the original assembly of the motor, and so while you didn't have to build it from scratch, you had to go back and find what the problem was with the motor,
the issues,
find what you needed, and then put everything together.
Exactly. So the good thing is, man, I was able to call in the troops, man. It's good to help people.
Yep.
I called in Precision Engine Auto, Durwood, Medlin. I ended up calling him, and he ordered me some valves. We had some heads, needed some valves. There was some damaged valves. He ordered me some valves in real quick. He reconditioned my heads for me or whatnot. And of course the camshaft, because the camshaft didn't come in until maybe about Tuesday or Wednesday. Right. The bad part about it was I couldn't get valve springs in time. Yep. So Durwood did his thing. Shout out to him on that. I mean, he looks out for me on a lot of that stuff. Like really, he gets stuff back to me quick. I pretty much got the heads back from him, really quick. And then I called my other buddy, J&D Holton. Yep. Jason, Friday morning, I want to say Friday morning at 9 o'clock. We're in the shop Friday morning, 9 o'clock. And I called him up, went over there. We're in the shop first thing Friday morning, and he got me some valve springs, measuring the heights and all that, and checking seat pressures, making sure it was good for the setup. And man, he rebuilt them heads for me first thing Friday morning, man. Yep. They got us rolling. Them two guys came through clutch, for real. Then then like I said, between time, of course, you know, I had to do my thing with the short block, making sure, you know, everything was good with that, and then assembling, installing cam, assembling the heads and all of that. And like I said, Friday, I lost Friday.
Yeah, that's right.
So busy with work.
Because like you said, all that was going on while you're still running your normal job, you know, and you know the customer's got to come first. So while your hopes were to be able to get off on time Friday to be able to get on over here, you had to leave last minute to make a trip, like you said, up to Virginia to pick up tires for a project, and that pushed your whole schedule back for the day. So, like I said, while he was working on the motor all day Friday, you know, pulling strings, making calls, calling in favors, you know, doing all this stuff behind the scenes on the motor, we were here just, you know, slaving away. No, I'm just messing with like that. No, we were here piddling away, you know, just on, you know, the small things that in the end you have to get the car going. And so, like I said, we made up a firewall plate, which we were going to use, we'll talk about later. And also we found a few things that we didn't need in the car yet again, so we took a little bit more out of it. And then we added a little bit of weight by putting a roof back in the car during the day. Yeah. Just because, you know, I guess partially a safety concern is one thing.
Definitely.
And then the other thing too is when he said rust falling on you, it really wasn't a joke. Anytime you shut the door, it would like rain rust. Yeah. So we had the rest of that sheet of stainless that we used making that plate for the firewall, and we secured that up in the roof so that it'll help keep stuff off of you and also acts as a roof for the car now. So yeah, that was pretty much what Friday consisted of. Saturday morning. I think you probably spent more gas than Saturday running around, and you're going to spend gas in this car the whole time you have it. Like,
I spent so much time running around trying to grab parts. Man, we ran into issues where I had to order parts from the local auto parts stores Friday night. Yep. Advanced Auto Parts, shout out to them. The local Advanced Auto Parts store here, you know, they really do. They look out for me as far as ordering me what I need, especially when it comes to high performance stuff. A lot of times they get me stuff next day or whatever the case may be. So yeah, I had to wait for parts to come in. That was scheduled to come in like 11 o'clock Saturday morning. Right. So you was at my house about 8 o'clock Saturday morning. Yep. We loaded up everything. We loaded up everything for this car in the back of his truck on Saturday morning. Now, looking back, thinking about it, I mean, you really think about it, like, man, how in the world are we gonna make that possible? But we didn't even think about it at the time.
No, we knew it was gonna happen.
Yeah, right. But yeah, so 8 o'clock Saturday morning, you're at my house. We loading everything up for the car in the back of his truck. I had to make parts runs, trying to pick up everything that was supposed to be coming in that was ordered. Because at this point, I still didn't have a timing chain.
That's right.
For the motor, because the timing chain that was ordered was wrong.
Yep.
So still had the front end of the engine off.
Yep.
We pretty much still didn't have the lifters in at that point either. So Saturday we building the car, and I'm finished up wrapping up, putting the motor down.
Yep, that's right. Yeah, because you like you say, you put the new timing chain and everything in on the floor. And then when we put it in the car, we got everything set in, everything was going smooth, and then we ran into issues with the lifters, right?
Yeah, and so the lifters that was ordered were too short.
Right.
And nobody had lifters, of course, locally what we needed. So we had to end up going back with practically at the time with a stock style lifter. Yep. Just for the time, just for the time being, to make it happen. But now we got more time. Coming right. We got the right ones on the way, baby.
That's right. Yeah. That's right. But yeah, with those, we had everything spec'd out for the motor to work with those lifters. Mm-hmm. And then now that you had to switch lifters, that threw us for a loop through the rest of the day. Right. Trying to get everything, the right measurements to work together. Yeah.
Man, yeah.
We ran into push rods, then the rockers, we had issues. Everything fought us. With the motor fought us the rest of the night.
Yeah, it did. It really did.
Oh.
So the rain kind of helped us out. It really helped us out.
Yeah, that's right.
However, hey, this is gonna be interesting, man.
Yeah, I mean you know, being able to clean it up in a way, but yet leave it looking junkyard.
Yeah.
You know, we you know, hiding some of the wiring that we could do, trying to clean that stuff up. Like I said, the battery we moved, having a fuel cell, a little bit of giggle gas. Oh shoot, one issue I didn't even think about when we got the transmission in. We went to put the cross member in. There was no transmission mount. That's something else you had to go get.
Yeah.
We didn't even have a mount.
Yeah.
We didn't have motor mount bolts. The ones we had weren't right. Had to get the right ones.
There was motor. Look, out of all the stuff that was in the car, there was a set of motor mount bolts in the floorboard, and the whole process of cleaning it out. I think I instructed someone to save the bolts for me. So save those bolts. I'm gonna need those bolts.
Yep.
And yeah, they got lost. They got lost on the way. So I had to buy new bolts.
But yeah, we got the motor in the car. We had basically the essentials for making the motor run was wired. And we were to the point where we said, you know what, let's see if we can get this thing to fire up. We take it back further than that actually. We got the motor in, got the trans buttoned up, got the drive shaft in, the rear end was buttoned up, so all your drivetrain was good to go. But we went to go put the headers in.
Oh man, headers wouldn't fit.
Yep.
Headers wouldn't fit. So of course it's crunch time. We're like, look, we gotta make it happen. So we said, hey, we had to notch the frame. Pulled out the plasma cutter.
Well, you had to go get the plasma cutter at 2
more
o'clock
gas.
in the morning.
Yeah, more gas. 2 o'clock in the morning, I had to go get the plasma cutter. Come back, fire the plasma cutter up, and I think we didn't have enough air.
Yeah, my big compressor's got an issue right now, so we were trying to use my smaller one, which is like a 26-gallon compressor. I don't know what CFM it flows, but whatever it is isn't enough for a plasma cutter, we found out. So so that was kind of a kick in the nuts. So we were like, you know what, we if nothing else tonight, we're gonna at least hear this thing fire up. So we said we're gonna at least start it. You know, we ain't gonna have no headers on. At least say we got it in there and got it where the car would run in 3 days. Yeah. And then we found there was an issue with the coil wire.
Yeah.
And so
you have a coil wire long enough.
Yep. So we ended up that screwed our night. By the time we were done working that night, it was like 4 o'clock in the morning.
Yep.
And so we said, you know what, we'll go ahead and go, you know, we'll just go enjoy the day tomorrow, you know, at least we could say we almost made it, you know.
Yeah.
And then I woke up at 7 o'clock to a text message that says that they canceled it at 9 o'clock the night before.
Right.
So we worked until 4 o'clock in the morning and I wasn't even to race the next day.
Yeah.
But anyways, though, the car now is, I mean, right now it's still as we left it, but you know, it's together. Everything is there. You know, it's just really buttoning up the accessories, man. We got to get the header situation right. We've got to button up the top end, you know, of the motor. To just a few small things that need to be changed, and a little bit of wiring stuff got to be done. And I mean, really, that's it. That's about it. Other than if we decide to do anything else now that we got a few more weeks, you know.
Right.
So.
And again, the purpose of this car, I mean, like you see it right here, spray painted on the side, Junkyard Box.
Yep.
So you don't get confused. It ain't supposed to look pretty. You know, the idea is, I mean, of course, you know, we got stuff that we put time in to make it look pretty. Yeah. The idea was this is take a junk car, something that, you know, you don't care nothing about, that was going to the scrap yard, and put a motor in it. It's, you know, some nice stuff. You pop the hood, I mean, it ain't gonna look like junk on the hood, you know. Right. The suspension stuff, you know, like I say, it's the mechanics of it is gonna be sound. Yep. But of course, the body is not gonna look the best. and also we keeping it's budget friendly. Yeah, you know,
because everything you got a handful of parts that are really good quality parts, you know, but a lot of it is stuff that you either got secondhand or stuff you've had laying around from other projects, you know. It's all stuff that was pieced together, you know. 90% of the people that are out there trying to race anything, you've got parts laying around. Exactly. You know, it's just a matter of throwing it together, or if you don't have it, you know somebody that's got the stuff laying around you need, you can throw it together. Exactly. So yeah, so that's the idea. You know, that's the idea, budget friendly, but to put something together that's gonna run. Just, you know, it's just kind of show everybody what we can do, you know. That's right. But like I say, it ain't supposed to look pretty. It's a Project Junkyard Box. That's exactly what it is. Yep. All right, so you know, we pretty much know where we're at now, and everybody online is caught up to speed with where we are. You've got some parts on order. It's been a little bit since we actually worked on this car. We were behind on getting this video up, but now we've got to get back into swing of things. Getting ready to get everything else over here, get the car buttoned up. This coming weekend, I'll be out of town for a race, so get you to try to take a little bit of videos or pictures as you go, working on what you work on until I get back, and then we'll carry on just how we were and keep the guys updated on what's going on.
Yeah, definitely. So this week coming up, you know, my goal is to try to get this thing buttoned up, at least get it fired up so we can see what we got. And then we'll follow up with you guys after that and kind of just get you up to speed of what's going on.
That's right.
Go from there.
That's right. Well, that's pretty much it. So as we said, Junkyard Box, keep an eye out for it. I'll make a playlist for this thing on the channel, so you guys that are interested in it, if you want to go back and watch, you know, as things go and see, you know, throughout the build process and then what we actually do with the car. You know, this isn't going to be something that we're going to hit this one race with, I don't think. I think it's going to end up hanging around a little bit. So, you know, we might hit some testing tunes. We might try to find some more races like this we can get the car to. And then, of course, we're going to have to try to replicate some John Force style burnouts for this thing or something like that. So, anyways, thank y'all guys for watching. And stay tuned. We'll have some more footage for this thing coming up soon. See y'all next time.